Start recording. Start broadcasting.
Hooray!
What?
What's going on?
Hi. Welcome to this episode of Shanahanigans Live. It is Wednesday. Finally,
7:30.
a 7:30 show for like the
One,
first time in so long. It's been, as if you're just joining us, it's been 9:30 shows for a good while now.
Yep.
It's 7:30 now. Probably none of you saw this message, so no one's going to see the show.
Until later.
Or hopefully you've seen the message soon. Actually get back to us and tell us if you think 7:30 is fine, or if we should like wait till 8 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Maybe it's too early because everyone's at work and stuff. But people came out for the late shows. They came out for late shows.
Yeah, late shows seem to work for people on the West Coast.
Yes, and we do everything for them.
The world just revolves around you, California.
We got Proto Wilson here. We got Chris the host here. We got people here.
Hooray.
How's it going? Katie's here.
Hey
I'm
guys.
here. How you guys doing? It is yet another day.
It's another day. Another short day for you, actually.
Yeah,
a
for
normal
the first time, a somewhat normal work day for me.
Wow.
I've been polling. If you followed my Twitter at all, at ShaggySham, you can hear my constant complaining. Not really constant complaining, but craftily make it sound like it's fun. But all these posts about
passive aggressive.
my 12-hour shifts and my 14-hour shifts and my 16-hour shifts on Sundays and stuff like that. So today, everything fell apart, and so we got to go home early, which is awesome.
Everything fell apart, so we got to go home.
Perfect. And since I'm here early, you guys get a show early, and that's the way the pumpkin crawls. I have no idea. My mind is a thing.
Well, you called me, I think, this afternoon. You were like, "You're my first contact with the outside world in a week," or something.
Yeah, it's been a time. Technically, I did have another contact with the outside world this past Saturday. I hosted, as we talked about last week, was the official Horrible Movie Night. It is the once a year outdoor. We project awful film or films, depending on if there's time. The audience brings their favorite horrible, awful movies. We vote based on their pitch, and then we all get to enjoy or endure, depending on your taste.
Heather said it was really gross.
Yeah, it was, of course, Peter Jackson's first feature-length film, Meet the Feebles, which is basically a take on the Muppets. Well before Greg the Bunny or Puppets That Kill. It was kind of like a crass underbelly look behind the stage of a Muppet Show type thing. Mm-hmm. An interesting thing I noticed was there's no humans at all in the film because he didn't bother having a special guest, I guess, like a Muppet movie would, when they just jam people in who have nothing to do in the movie. Mm-hmm. But they're famous, so there you go.
Am I sensing a rant?
I'd argue that this movie had more plot than the Muppet movie did.
Oh, God.
I would, actually. Not the classic Muppet movie, the new one.
Really
I would argue.
Do not love that.
It's actually a very similar plot, too. It's all about, this new guy shows up on the show. He's a porcupine. And he likes the show.
And they're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, that might be the only similarity, actually, now that I think about it. But at least he actually had some talent, I guess, because he can sing and play guitar. It wasn't like he whistled or something stupid. So check out Peter Jackson's Meet the Feebles. After you watch this movie, you'll know exactly why they handed over Lord of the Rings to him.
I know.
They're like, this guy, PJ, get him on the phone.
He's the only one who could bring this classic. Well, no, it seems like he was the one petitioning for it.
Oh yeah, and if you enjoy or checked it out, Meet the Feebles, you can also check out his other classic films, Bad Taste, which is, I think, every filmmaker should watch just because it's necessary.
Is that the zombie one?
No, it's an alien invasion one, sort of. It's really weird. I feel like I haven't seen Troll 2 yet, but it feels like it's kind of in that zone, but with a New Zealand twist. So they have guns and explosives, and they're the greatest scene ever. I'm sorry, this movie's old, so I can say this. The greatest scene ever is that after when it's all out war, the guy shoots a rocket, and this is just PJ's friends. No one looks like an actor. They all look like a bunch of kids with guns and just running around in New Zealand. And one of them gets a rocket launcher and shoots it, misses the alien. It goes through the front door of the house, out the back door. Then it cuts to the sheep standing in the field, and it just gets nuked.
That's horrible.
And I'd argue that Bad Taste is probably the best of his classic movies. Then followed by Dead Alive. You've probably seen the cover. It's like a lady opening her mouth. There's like a
skeleton.
zombie skeleton face.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah. But that one's kind of all right. It's just like a gore fest type thing, like a little closer to some Edgar Wright kind of Edgar Wrightian work. I guess.
It's kind of like humor gore.
Yeah, humor gore. Like if you enjoyed any of those awful Japanese films like Machine Girl and Yo-Yo Cop Girl and what was the other one we saw? Tokyo Gore Police.
I find that one hard to like. I'm like, this is kind of supposed to be funny, but this is the most violent thing I've ever seen.
Aliens versus Ninjas. Like all those movies are like humor gore that just after the first 5 or 6 scenes you get used to it and it's just like ludicrous and you're no longer shocked or offended because like it's too stressful to be offended through the whole film. Put it that way. It's like lighten the hell up if you're watching this.
Yeah.
If you're going out your way. So that was Horrible Movie Night. You guys yourself should host your own if you haven't yet. It's really damn fun. Good way to end the summer because all our good blockbusters came by. Let's get ready for the drudgery of fall. So let's just start it off with a bang and some awful, terrible movies that you can remember. So it actually makes the fall lineup seem better.
Just like blockbusters.
I'm like, oh, I can't. Well, technically, I can't wait for. Well, no, I can't wait for everything because I'm not excited for anything right now. It's the depressing thing. But I am kind of curious about the Great Gatsby, just to see what that's about.
I can finally figure out what the story's about.
Oh yeah, good. Finally, this movie will clear it all up. I'm sure.
Well, we never read it in school.
It's going to be a loyal adaptation. I'm pretty sure. We're all going to dress up for it. We're going to put on top hats.
Fantastic.
It's going to be great. We're going to the premiere. I tell you.
That's fantastic.
We're going to have like a Gatsby party. We're going to have a green light. We're going to have shirts. Everything from the book. It's going to be great. We'll all refer to each other as old boy or sport. Tiger. Sport. I don't know what he said. Go get him, Tiger. Said Gatsby. What a great man.
Oh, man. I like Gatsby.
And no one showed up to his funeral. Anyway.
Oh, really? Spoiler.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Should have read the book. I didn't either. How do I know that? Oh, well. It was in the course curriculum. I somehow got away with it. Thank you, Cold Notes. Also, this past weekend, if you were able to go, as you sort of were, I guess, you were behind a table. Hey, it was Fan Expo.
Oh, yeah.
That thing. That thing that you line up in a tunnel underground for 2 hours.
Yeah, you should
mass
describe
collection
that.
of people in a downhill spiral that you never see the end of the line. So you can only question whether it's going to end or if there's just a wall.
It's the weirdest.
And after those 2 hours, you still don't get a ticket to get in. You have to go home. Or to Jackass, if that was closer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my Saturday. That was my Fan Expo.
Aww.
2 hours of darkness.
I don't know why they had you lining up in the
I'm not making this up. It was
parking
literally
lot.
It wasn't even a lot. It was a parking spiral.
But the parking garage. So this is the ramp that cars usually go down to get into the lower depths.
But this wasn't like an above
lot.
ground. This was an in-ground hole of never-ending twists. So like every 20 minutes the line would move a little and you're like, I think I see. No, you don't. You see nothing. You see another wall. And the worst of it, as it seems to be the same every single day. It wasn't even just like on Saturday when it was busy. Was originally there was a line in the tunnel, like a good 3 people thick, and it kind of goes up the edge of the spiral. Then they were just like, everyone just start cramming in. All right, let's just shove as many people in as we can. So any resemblance of a line ended, and it just became a mass herd
after all that
of people funneling down this tube, leading to an empty box office because there wasn't enough tickets. But they didn't decide, even though they knew they only had like 5 more tickets, they didn't tell everyone to go home just yet. We
want to disappoint you.
They just wanted, because it got to the point where the place was so max capacity that a dude would run back and be like, three more left, so put 3 more in. It was that bad. So also what this means is if you left the con, you probably weren't getting back in either.
Yeah, no kidding.
So stay on premises, buy shitty pizza for $7. Ugh. Yeah, that was my Fan Expo. How was your Fan Expo?
It was okay. I kind of left the table more than I should have because they're like, I don't know. I'd come back from the cottage, so I was used to just solitude and quiet and niceness, and suddenly it was, bam, convention. There's people everywhere, and I'm behind a table, and it's just crazy. So, I had fun. Got to talk with a lot of people. Got to meet some cool readers of the comics and things like that. And then I kind of wandered away more often than not because I was just like
drifted away.
Yeah, I just wanted to check things out and go buy stuff, and like I was kind of just not mentally in convention head yet. But I don't know, it was fun. There was some neat stuff there. They had a arcade for Wreck-It Ralph in the
really?
in the lunch area, and it was like they'd designed it to look like a banged up 80s arcade machine, so it's kind of scratched up and old, and the graphics are really fun. Like,
that's cool.
Because it's Fix-It Felix, I guess, is the character. This is the Disney movie that's coming out, so it's and then he's up there, the Wreck-It Ralph is up there, and then they're cleaning the windows and dropping things. So that was cute.
Yeah.
What else was there that was interesting? There was an exhibit for Tim Burton's new movie.
I saw some photos of that. Which was nice. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they had they had a lot of puppets there, and then they had sets from the movie with characters set up in it, so you could look around these dioramas of the scenes, and they were really nicely put together.
Yeah, I saw photos. I want to check that out. That would have been nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That would have been a great way to spend
Other than that, I don't know. I feel like walking around, I'm like, I feel like I've seen all this before, because it does feel like San Diego again. It feels like Fan Expo again, and unless it's something specific, it's like,
oh my god.
Well, because I'm not really shopping for anything, so I'm just
true.
like, it's nothing really new. I love seeing it, but it's I have more fun just hanging out in Artist Alley, so I can just meet people and talk to people.
Like, definitely Fan Expo has changed for us over the years. Like in the early days, any con we went to was mainly just for buying, because everything could be found there. Like, your local comic shop only had so much. And then you go to a con and you get vendors from all around, North America and even the world to a degree, bringing all their wares. And this is, like, we started going to cons in the early days of anime just kind of, like, booming either again, or basically the Sailor Moon boom / Dragon Ball, if you prefer to think of it that way. But it was that era when it was just, like, we were just trying to expand our, like, anime horizons, and, like, anything you saw that was animation you'd buy, just to be like, oh my god. Because
I know.
The internet didn't really exist too much, like, to any useful degree at that part either.
I was in a huge Sailor Moon thing, so I used to buy the crappiest knockoffs of anything, where it would be like this doll that says Sailor Mary and her eyes go this way, and I'm like,
Pretty Guardians.
Her hair only goes this big, and the dress is kind of.
But those are actually like the best action figures there was at the time. It was better than the dollar store yo-yos with the Sailor Moon sticker slapped on it and sold for $7.
I bought them all. That was the only thing I've ever really fanned out about.
Yeah, you even had like a newspaper cutout book for any time the Toronto Star was like, the hell, there's a show for girls now?
I was like, yeah.
Oh, well, there's a fight, magic powers.
That's it was my Sailor Moon book, right? It had the playing cards and stickers and
yeah, it had everything in there. All like the glittery stickers and stuff like
package.
That. And like, not really just a segue a little, but I thought like it was really cool, like what Sailor Moon kind of accomplished. And maybe it wasn't like such a big deal in Japan, I don't know, but at least in North America, it was like it was very different from anything we really had. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember what Shiro was about, but like Sailor Moon was kind of like, okay, it's a show for girls, and it's like got some action, some magic, and has the G.I. Joe morals at the end or whatever it is. But it's like, all right, it's like mostly female cast. That's cool. So yeah, Sailor Moon was a time, and hence you go to these cons and try to buy anything with it slapped or heat transferred onto, because they're suckers.
All those crappy t-shirts where you wash it once and it's just ripped to pieces.
Yep, that good stuff. But now that a lot of the comic shops have expanded and the internet is easily accessible and you don't have to get bootleg VHSs of things anymore, cons are kind of trickier to be excited over for the store purpose, because it's kind of like everything you'll see at a con, chances are depending, me living in a city, where you're from, you may have already seen everything. It's just kind of like assembled in a different order. But definitely, so I wasn't too pumped. Like I wasn't really. I actually didn't think I was going to Fan Expo. That's why I didn't pre-order tickets, which I should have. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the long and short of it is, if you're going to Fan Expo next year, press pass or pre-order. Do not show up day of, especially on a Saturday, unless you're there at 1 a.m. or some stupid time, because it was just bleh.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, well, that was my weekend.
Oh,
so the horrible movie night made up for the horrible con experience. Ta-da!
Hooray!
But of course, there's also a bright side to every story. Apparently, you were given a little gift, or some gifts.
Yeah.
I hold in my hand.
Can you see those up close?
I'm trying to think what's the best way. From Battlelong, I can try to get this card out.
Yeah, maybe we can show her Etsy.
Mad Hatter Design. Sorry, it's not very clear. Mm-hmm. Mad Hatter Design. www.whatever. Bata668.etsy.com. We got tiny little silly kingdom books.
Get it really close up in there.
Look at that.
It's little itty bitty Silly Kingdom charms, and if you flip it over,
and you turn it around, it also has the back of the book too.
Oh my god!
You can read the raving reviews. Like it's literally the book.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Except it's a giant tome.
This is why we're in this business. To get awesome presents like this. I'm gonna hang this like on my DS or something.
Yeah, it's so cute.
You know, this is just precious.
So I wonder if I can even keep it on my phone.
Maybe.
Although I stick my phone in.
Yeah, so like this. Apparently, I unfortunately wasn't there to greet her when she came up to the table.
Yeah, really sweet.
Gave you these, and they're just adorbs. Yeah. As the kids say.
You should take a picture of it and put it on the Facebook.
Yeah, it's basically as I mentioned, it's basically like the right size for my little Halo figures from like Halo 1 and 2 to like hold. So yeah, that's adorable. Actually, bad as you were saying, it's made of polymorph clay, not shrinky stuff. There you go.
There's a scientific term for it.
I thought shrinky stuff, but by golly.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. I am excited to hang this on my hangables. I'm not sure which device to put it on yet, because like there's, I know like Heather's DS is like covered with things, like all these like hanging things, like we get like
that's the way
little cat characters.
Like it,
well, that was the girl's cell phone was like after when these kind of things first came out, cell phones accessories were bigger than your pocket basically. So you pull out this like friggin' whip of like many different animals and fruits and things just hanging. It's adorable. So these are precious. I want more.
I know, they're so awesome.
So once again, check out that Etsy shop at bata668.etsy.com. And I'm not sure what the process is, but maybe you can get a little whatever thing you like yourself made for you kind of thing.
Yeah, your favorite books.
Yeah.
Your own book.
Say, you really enjoy Gladiator, the movie. You can...
Is that just because Jerry mentioned
it? He didn't mention that. But you can shrink it down and put it in the Gladiator DVD. It's like anything. It's kind of like back in the old days when we kept getting those in the mail. We got these like stamps for these like VHS or DVD club things.
Oh yeah.
And we never joined them. But they had a sheet of stamps of just tiny movies or CDs, and we just collect those stamps and just like put them in a stamp collection. Because like, it's my favorite movie.
Because you could draw a character, and the character would be holding the DVD.
Yeah.
Like, want to watch this
like
one? No, how about this one?
We never used those, but we'd always collected them and just like made little stamp books. Or you can like even like put it on the shelf of like your Barbie and be like, "This is my DVD collection, Ken. Yeah. What do you think?"
Exactly.
That kind of deal. Cute, adorable stuff. So that's why we make the comics. Speaking of make, what are you making right now?
I'm working on one of the Indiegogo commissions.
That's hopefully camera 2 doesn't crash on me.
Like you.
Oh, this is an educational show. We like to show
Except I might need to get some more reference because I can't quite figure out the clothing on this character.
Who is it? Is it like a legit character? Like,
yeah, it's a character, but he's like wearing, I think, 1800s. You can't even see anything but the inks.
Because the light isn't near your table at all. You gotta move that lamp. There you go.
That was so blown out.
Put some light on that subject matter.
Arr.
Oh, I'm tired.
I know. I'm so burnt out. I was supposed to take it easy at the cottage, but essentially I had to bring work up with me, so I was just working at the table.
Let's just go off to Cherry Beach for a day and lie down and just be like... Rrr.
I know. I just want to sleep for a week.
That'd be an idea. I had so many other things in my mind, but I can't remember anything right now. I was hoping I was going to fly with it and be like, oh, that's a topic I can address. I had a few things, and now they're just all kind of drifting because my brain is in that weird state of mind where
and Berberder.
Exactly like that. Though I am happy to see that a lot more people who watch this show have started watching Gravity Falls because it is the greatest show on TV right now, or the internet, depending how you look at things.
I actually found out a studio in Toronto did the pilot for that, and I know people who designed the characters. They were in my class.
Wait, the blog with that animated intro, was that anyone?
Maybe.
And like the law gnome throwing up for like ever? That's amazing. No, I have to catch up. I've missed a few episodes, but Gravity Falls is the finest thing I've seen in years. It is very well written. It's very funny. Great characters, excellent animation, great stories. It's my favorite. Tonight I'm going to catch up, watch some more episodes. And you guys should watch it too. Thoroughly recommend it if you like funny. Like Disney Channel's actually trying to get with their animation, says Chris the host. Yeah, it's funny about that. Well, like, what's the last Disney Channel thing you ever watched? It was like friggin' Darkwing Duck.
No. Yeah, Darkwing Duck.
Like Aladdin. I didn't watch any of those
There's a whole
series. It was
lineup.
like the Tarzan series. I'm like, I didn't watch that.
Didn't know that was there. There was Little Mermaid too.
There's a Hercules series that was like a prequel series, and there's a Little Mermaid series.
Oh yeah, where they were all in high school, and then he was buddies with like Icarus and some Muse girl.
Yeah. Well, that looked funny, but
yeah, I think it was.
They had a crossover episode with Aladdin. There was a Hercules meets Aladdin episode.
No
it was
way.
great because he has that carpet, and like both sidekick characters got like tied up. So like Abu and Icarus were like tied up as like kidnapped.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ooh, monkey," and Abu's like, "Oh no."
Yeah, like this guy's an idiot.
And I'm like, this is great. This is the height of my childhood.
This is crazy.
But I didn't really watch anything beyond that. I never really thought about that. It says Disney hasn't been on the animation scene recently. Well, they got the Paperman thing.
Oh, Paperman.
It's like, once again, I watched that behind the scenes. And I'm just like, like just show us some clips. He's like, I'm writing this based on this time when I was on a subway and I saw a lady and I thought, what if? I'm like, okay, great story, bro. Let's animate it.
You're like, I just want to be entertained.
I'm like, oh, God. I just want to see the actual thing in motion because everyone keeps going, this is mind-blowing 2D, 3D crossover. Speaking of 2D, 3D crossover, if you follow my Tumblr, Shaggy's Mind Sauce, I posted a thing yesterday about, it was this company in Japan making stuff that presents 2D art in 3D style so that now, the great works of Tezuka and stuff can finally be seen in the way a 3D version would be seen. Not necessarily that, but it's basically, you have to watch this demo. Look up Tumblr, Shaggy Chan, and you can see this. It's fascinating because basically it's going to largely be used for like dating sims and stuff, I assume, because it's mainly for like stationary characters who just like move around and look. Because as the demo points out, no pun, but the guy's constantly like pointing to the screen and the girl's at the desk like, But it's all 2D animation, but it's done with that kind of flash, kind of 3D fake, like everything kind of slides just right, and so it looks 3D. And it's an engine that kind of operates on that. And it's fascinating. I'm interested to see where it takes us, because also it's pretty light on mobile devices as well, so you can have like 3D characters designed with 2D on your phone dating sim game. You just poke her face, and I don't really know what they're going to do with it, but it's fascinating to see what crazy good artists are going to do with it when that comes out.
I shall look forward to it.
Yes, look forward to working in it because it's going to happen.
Yes.
Soon everyone will do 2D, 3D.
Tangent.
I'd be curious to see how it works in video games more than anything, because like they've always tried to capture the, like you have like the Futurama game and the Simpsons game and the Family Guy game. It's always cel shaded. But I'd be curious to see if they can pull off, like, I'm not sure what South Park is doing with their new game, but apparently it's, like, using the actual resources from the show. I don't think it's going to be 3D at all, but it's, like, the idea that you could have 2D, like, hand-drawn animated series characters show up with 3D animation. That might be interesting. Chris says I can rant about Disney Channel sitcoms for hours. Well, you can also just not watch them. Are you just like, you leave Disney Channel on, you're like, oh, friggin' something about maybe, or I don't know what shows they have, or Steve and Steverson.
Hate those guys.
3 girls named Bethany. I hate all these shows. It's just like, dude, you can watch other things. You can turn the channel, baby. You don't gotta watch all This is one of those, I don't know. Creepy Porpoise giving the angry face. What's going on here? I don't know if something, I don't actually remember. I think something about maybe it was another show. I don't think it was a Disney sitcom, so I apologize.
That's why.
I got tricked by the earlier time. What earlier time? 7:30? How's it a trick? It's a treat!
What time is it now?
7, I don't know, it's almost 8 o'clock. We wouldn't be on for like another hour if it was normally. Isn't that crazy? It's still light outside.
Yeah, weird.
You know? But yeah, those Disney sitcoms have a place. They bring young actors through the Disney machine and turn them into pop sensations, and then we forget about them after a couple of years. So, when's the last time y'all were like, I love Zac Efron?
When was the last time?
Maybe it was in like Hairspray or one of those movies. But I have nothing against the dude. I've never seen him, and he never like cut me off in traffic, so I got nothing against Zac Efron. Just the honesty of it. Oh god, there's gotta be other things. I know there's other things going on in my mind.
What were we talking about on the balcony?
Yeah, we had some. Well, we were just like ranting more about panic.
Oh yeah. In the nicest of ways.
All these fans and things like that. Yeah.
It was good fun.
Was it?
I'm sorry. Oh, that was the thing that one of my buddies wanted to go buy a pop or a Coke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A soda, and they're really, really overpriced in all the food zones. But for whatever reason, he was walking around, all the vending machines had out of order signs on them. And he was like, "This is weird that they're all out of order." So he just took his money.
Machine is out of order?
Yeah, every single vending machine is out of order.
Curious.
And you can only buy like soda pops and whatnot from these overpriced booths. So he just put money in, and then a pop came out.
Yeah.
And then he just went and ripped all the out of order tags off because it was like some kind of weird thing they did just so people wouldn't use the vending machines.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Because they're not cheap in the vending machine anyways.
Yeah.
But they're more expensive at the...
This is how they really get you. Scammy.
So, yeah, I guess... I'm not saying stick money in there because, like, maybe you'll lose your money.
I'm just saying don't trust them anymore.
I'm just saying don't trust anyone.
Don't trust Fan Expo.
People only
They're
break
liars
your heart.
And cheaters. Murderer. That's about 668 saying, I got money stolen from my till and the staff just laughed at me.
No
Literally?
way.
Like they're just like...
That is so horrible.
Fucking dicks. Sorry about swearing, but I'm just like angered by this.
Yeah, that's awful.
Like in huge contrast to this, like maybe you could say, oh, it's all because of scale. But like we were out in Vancouver.
They were so nice in Vancouver.
Fan Expo.
Yeah.
No, not Fan Expo, sorry. Vancouver, VanCaf.
VanCaf.
And like they were like basically coming up to us being like, do you guys need change? Are you good? You good? You got drinks and water? Everything's cool? You need me to take your table for a while?
Yeah.
Do we need to go do things? Like there's something to be said about like caring about the con you're running. And it's, you can make the argument that, when it's too big, you can't care anymore. I'm like, no, because even PAX and stuff still manages, at the size it is, to have heart. Mm-hmm. You know, if you've ever been to PAX and you follow the enforcers, they're basically the security. That's all, like, fan run. Everything's operated by, like, this crack team of, like, genius people who know how to run stuff. Unlike some cons, who are just so focused on bringing in big names and saying, oh, you've been stuck in line for 2 hours, well, whatever.
Yeah, we don't
go
care.
Away, and our pop machines are out of order.
Yeah.
You know, like there's like I know people in the early days kept saying like, Fan Expo and it's what's the parent company it was, Hobby Star, just like evil dicks and stuff like that. I never really saw that, but like now it's just kind of coming out more and more, and I'm just like, you guys, what are you doing? Like care about it's like care about your con, for God's sake.
I know.
Like that's what. And other people argue it's just like that's what you get when you go to a fan run con. Like Anime North is still fan run. Like half the people are insane, but it's still there for the fans.
I gotta say though, like I dealt with really friendly staff.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it helps when you have an exhibitor badge because it's just like going through lines. Like yeah.
I'm not saying the staff is corrupt. This is the whole concept. Like it's just like there's not enough care. Yeah. It's too much of like it feels too much like a shift where it's just like let's get this over with. Well, people nerds.
I mean, it's more, it's kind of a big store, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. But, like, the article that Graham posted a quote saying from, like, the guy who, like, one of the people running the con were like, we don't deal in the business of pissing people off. You know, we did a good show, and, sometimes you just can't make people happy. I'm like, I was in a tunnel for 2 hours!
Yeah, why did that have to happen?
Where's the silver lining to this story?
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Like, at least the tunnel wasn't full of piranhas, I guess. Like, that's something to be grateful for.
We didn't unleash a box of angry rats.
Like, there wasn't a stampede of oxen running down the tunnel towards us.
Because that could have happened.
That could have happened, so count your blessings, guys. Fan Expo 2013. You will not be skewered by oxen.
Maybe.
Until, I wouldn't put it past them. Like, they put the money to buy a lot of ox just to release them down a tunnel and say screw you to the fans. Hobby Star, they would do that.
That's a lot of effort.
They would. They go out of their way enough to piss people off. They're like, how can we top the tunnel next year? I'm like,
We'll make them go on the roof.
You know that running of the bulls that's so popular? I know how we can get front page on the Toronto Star next year.
Well, it's not good publicity. It's not like shitty lineups. People are like, I can't wait till next summer.
I want to see this. And they're charging an extra $10?
Oh, this is so aggravating.
$56 to be skewered by bulls in a tunnel under the ground?
Honey, pack up the kids.
Oh, man, maybe I'll see Shatner there, huh?
Yeah.
So that's Fan Expo 2013.
Ooh, I got to see Gimli.
I
saw him. Like, I don't pay to go.
No, I don't think you had to pay because he does his panels for free because he's a cool guy and he's not a sellout.
Awesome.
Bam.
He's really nice. A friend of mine's a big fan of Gimli.
John Rhys Davies.
He went to go get him to sign his axe.
You may remember him also from Indiana Jones and stuff. I haven't actually seen him in anything else except for that and Lord of the Rings.
I think he's in like Princess Diaries or something.
Maybe, of course. Yeah. But from what I hear, like the dude's like just a storyteller. Like he's someone you want to sit down and listen to because he's like, "Oh, come in, everyone!"
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like he would stop his story halfway if people were just like coming into the con. He's like, "Oh, grab a seat for." Like, I don't know if this is true, but in my mind, he's like, "Oh, just snuggle up over here. I've continued the story. We'll recap."
Such a great voice.
Like he just sounds like and I was told like any one question he was asked, you get like a 20-minute response.
Oh, that's so nice.
So he's like, "I remember the time."
Yeah, my friend was really thrilled when he met him. He's got all these great photos.
Yeah, he sounds like a good guy. Like he's a huge, he's like. He appreciates the concept of telling. He appreciates fans.
Yeah.
This guy, John Rhys Davies.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
You know,
and
like,
Stan Lee was like behind some curtain. That like you couldn't even see him. It's like when you
you.
go sign something, you have to like ring a gong and pull the rope. And he's like Excelsior.
It's like at the bank in the States when you gotta like put the money in the thing and it rotates. You gotta put your hand in the thing and it spins around and then you shake it. Just so you don't like. Take him.
I guess.
I got Stan Lee, guys. Woo! Run home. He's like, "Where are we going?"
I don't like Canada. Excelsior.
Yeah, good man. I never met him, but I didn't really grow up as a Marvel fan, so I appreciate what it all is. But it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just I was raised on Sailor Moon. What can I say?
Yeah. Serious.
Now, if Sailor Moon was at the con,
I'd be like, "Hello, ma'am."
It was funny though, because when I was at one of the hotels, the Royal York, and saw Sailor Mercury just walking by in the hotel. I'm like, this is so cool because like the Royal York is like, a classic. It's probably, I don't know if it's the fancy schmanciest of all the hotels in Toronto, but it's definitely like the copper roofed, chandelier filled clock tower, blueberry all throughout. Like if you had a steampunk crew, you want to go there to take photos just on the inside.
Sweet looking.
It's beautiful. And also, if you're like a fan of Phantom of the Opera, you can go upstairs and be like,
just some poor girl.
But it's like seeing like Sailor Mercury walking by in there. It's like that's cool.
That's pretty classy.
I
don't know though, because it's like I go in and I felt like I went there to have dinner with one of Jerry's friends who's there for a wedding, and I was like, God, I don't know if I'm dressed up for this hotel. But again, everybody's in sweatpants anyway. Yeah. But I look at the photos of when it was back in the 1920s and people had their hats and their furs.
They were dressed up just to walk by the hotel.
That's
Jeez.
true.
It's like it's Sunday, kids.
Now it's like this
hats.
is really fancy.
You have to walk past the York.
Yeah. Just because a reporter doesn't mean we have to dress it.
That's what I was worried about too, going in there. I'm like, how should we dress up?
I know they're going to kick me out.
I remember I actually had another story about the Royal York. The first time I went in there was to meet a scalper who had Spice Girls tickets.
Oh, yeah, Spice Girls.
This is for the reunion tour. Because my buddy Dan really wanted to go. And
that was a time.
It was kind of like... It was like the brother and sister Spice Girls show.
Oh,
yeah, it was Dan and his sister. And me and you. And we were in like the back of the arena, screaming, "If you want to be my
like this big, we're like,
you gotta!" Because we just had a time because it's this weird reunion tour that just like went by Toronto. And we're like, okay, we definitely just gotta go to this Spice Girls tour, because they're here.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest thing ever. I don't even know if they can sing anymore. If they ever could, let's check this out. But like we went to the Royal York and there's this guy who's like scout master. And he didn't even just have tickets for Spice Girls. He had tickets for everything. Cause like he was.
What else can I get you?
He was basically walking down the row and pointing at people, like sitting and be like, "You were here for this derby? Okay, come this way. You're here for Spice Girls? Come this way." And like it was like he was leading down a path and he's like doing a dance with tickets and stuff like that.
And then the song starts up.
And he's like the candy man. He's like sprinkling tickets on us all and stuff like that. And we're all like, "Yeah!"
Well, that was the part that always. That's what always bothered us about that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was they have that Candyman song and he's throwing candies to all the kids. And then when the main character comes up to buy something, it's like the song stops and he's like, "That'll be $1." And like, this kid has to pay, but he's throwing things at all the other rich, fancy kids.
I think that was like a commentary on how rich people still get cutbacks and how the poor have to pay.
Because it's like the parents just come and drop off their credit card and they're like, "He'll come by sometime."
Yeah, it's like, my son has a membership to the chocolate shop. He'll be by for a song and a handful of giblets. It's just like, okay.
Make it a good one.
And it's just like, yeah, it's because he's like basically pouring candy on all their laps. And like, whoa, dude, really? And then freaking Charlie comes in, this impoverished child, and he's like, that chocolate bar is gonna be, it's normally $2, but I'm charging you $5, son, because I don't like you.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's like, kid, you're gonna have a stroke. Calm down, son. And he's like, I want to find out if it's the golden ticket. I'm like, well, you don't eat it to find. It's in. No.
Like, he just scarfs the chocolate. I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, even if you buy some chicken, like, don't buy a chocolate.
He wanted to go to the chocolate factory.
Well, then you don't go to the chocolate factory first. You don't like buy a chocolate bar, eat it, and then go, oh shoot.
That didn't happen.
Okay, but he was wolfing it down, and then
but he didn't like pull out the ticket.
Yeah. I love that dick move he pulled when, like, his poor, sad family who only want the best for him, and they're all in their poor, sad house, all sharing a bed. And he's like, I won! And they're like, really? He's like, no, my life sucks. And I'll be like, you little shits! Like, what are you doing? I'm an old man, and I've been lying here for years hoping something nice happens to his family.
He lied? I don't remember.
There's this one scene where he's just like, I won! And
then he doesn't want them to.
Because remember he, like, got him the chocolate bar for his birthday or something like that.
Oh.
I think. And he's like, yes, I got this for you with my one last dollar. Our family's broke. And he's like, I won! And they're like, oh my god, I'm so happy for my son. We couldn't offer him a future. But now he's like, I lied. I didn't win because life sucks, Mom. And he's like,
why? It sucks.
Son.
What a jerk kid.
It's like, in this day and age, it's legal to send you to the workhouse, right? Like, let's just get you out of here. Ugh, this guy. Charlie. Dick. And then,
that meme that's going around with the
Wonka, like,
with
leaning
the
and
changing
like, oh,
really? Just like, oh yeah.
So you're in it.
So you say you're a photographer, your Instagram, eh? I forget them all, but they're just so.
They're great.
Silly.
They're very condescending.
His expression is just so good. Super
but the other thing then that never made sense to me was, you know how, like, basically if you study the structure of was it Willy Wonka, I guess? What was the original one was called Willy Wonka, and the new one was called Charlie. Because that's what the actual book was called.
The book was Charlie.
So the original movie, the one weird thing is that you study the structure of the film, and it's basically a contemporary horror film. Because it's just knocking off characters one by one until you get to the end. And there's only 3 people at the end, just like every horror movie. So watch it again. But the thing is, like, everyone gets, like, shoved out for doing something wrong, like drinking something they shouldn't have, or eating something, or just being a dick. Mm-hmm. And Charlie and Grandpa go in Bubble Room and drink the colas, the fizzy, floaty.
Isn't it Grandpa's fault too?
Flappers.
It's like we're being really well behaved, and he's like,
"Oh, Charlie, live a little." He's like,
I ain't
"You don't
got
get
long.
nowhere following the rules. Look at me. Let's drink this soda, Charlie."
It's like Grandpa ruins it for him.
And so they start floating up towards the fans, and then they burp, and it's hilarious, and they land. And then at the very end, when he's like, all right, so everyone lost, no one gets my inheritance. He's like, well, hold on, you old swindler. What about Charlie? He's a good kid. And he's like, you stole fizzy lifty drinks. And it's said in my rules that you shouldn't do things, and you did it, and everyone else got justly rejected for doing it.
But Charlie's
and
like,
just because you're the main character doesn't mean you get special treatment.
You don't get main character privileges.
You're out, and then the grandpa's like, why I oughta? Just because we broke the rule once, like everybody else. We get kicked out, I can't
It's
get
a great moral story.
Come on, Charlie. Let's not be in this room anymore.
Let's leave this selfish man.
This horrible, evil bigot, this fiend. And then Charlie's like, okay, you can have the candy back, the gobstopper. And he's like, oh, you win, because unlike the other kids who got rejected right away and probably sent to death, you had a chance to for forgiveness. Because little dude who shrunk because he wanted to be in the TV, he didn't go, hey Charlie, I want to hand you back your gobstopper. You know, because they had that plant, the guy at the beginning who's like, if you find the plant with the gobstopper, we shall rule the world together. And then, like, they're all, like, supposed to take it home, but that was just a fake, because he's like, I hired Gunther here to pretend to be the gobstopper stuff.
I don't remember this weird B-plot.
No, it was there. It was this guy who looked like
the German to be children.
He looked like the guy. No, it was this guy who looked like the guy from Indiana Jones. Who was like, we can find out where the Ark is, like that guy. And he shows up being like, you kids, if you get the gobstoppers and bring them to me, I shall find out what it is made of, and we shall be millionaires. And it was a plan because he wanted to, like, sort out if they're selfish. Because the idea was when they got kicked out, they're like, well, I know what I'm going to do with this gobstopper. And then Charlie or Willy Wonka would be like, well, I got you again, because he was a clever dude.
Dishonest.
But no one else really had the physical chance because, like, when the big blueberry goes like, "Goodbye, everybody," and rolling away, she wouldn't be like, "By the way, Charlie, I'm sorry about the gobstopper.
Well, clearly it was.
Let me rule your kingdom and your dynasty."
Please. It was in his favor the whole time.
Yeah. So Charlie got first character preferences, main character. So that whole movie.
Is that another one? Just right down
another
the
one. Just
another classic childhood movie.
If it wasn't for Gene Wilder, I don't know. he keeps that movie going for me. Because apparently I read some articles about him that was going around, and like he invented the whole like Kane sequence when like, you know, the doors open and everyone's all excited. It's like, yeah, Willy Wonka, the first time in 20 years is coming out. And then he's like just walking with a limp out there. And then he kind of like
he must be old.
Leaves his cane gets stuck in the ground. He kind of keeps walking a step. And he just like falls, but then he just rolls and gets back up. It's like, ta-da! And apparently that was like the first take, and no one saw, like, the kids haven't seen him yet. Yeah. And that was like the first take, and so that was his idea. And it was just like, oh, what the...
It's kind of, it throws you off.
And I think that's perfect, though. It's kind of like what they said with the original Alien.
It's no Count of Monte Cristo.
When the alien first burst out of the dude's chest, no one was actually saw what it was going to be like. So people were like legit freaking out on set. And like still traumatized to this day, but it made a great take.
Oh yeah.
And
they're just like because they get sprayed.
And kind of a similar thing. This was a little more planned, but like in Rat Race, when everyone shows up at the meeting, they're not running out yet, and John Cleese pulls out the gun. They basically told everyone to just freak out in different ways and do whatever you want. And they just had like 4 cameras and filmed it all. So it was just kind of like improvised. Everyone going like just freaking out.
Just noise.
Yeah. I don't know how he got there, but yeah, Gene Wilder is amazing. If you love him in that, you also want to check out Blazing Saddles, which
fun.
He's genius in as well. I haven't seen him in anything else yet. I haven't seen the original producers. Gotta check that out. I have it. I just haven't seen it. I feel like you're drawing Willy Wonka now after all this. Let's take a look.
He's kind of turning into Willy Wonka.
We somehow got to this. You can make like the friggin' Bijou Wonka, like...
Oh, Bijou Wonka!
Yeah. And it's like... Bijou. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like it'd be kind of like you could remake Willy Wonka to be more like Black Butler, like that series where it's like, oh, vampire butler.
All you gotta do is Google it and find the fan art.
Oh really?
Every show I work on now, I Google fan art and I find like the most raunchy stuff.
Well, like you Google it and you're like, this is nice, and you go to the adult settings and you're just like,
I just have regular
advanced
settings.
search, safety off. It's like
Yeah. Like why?
Exactly.
But I'm like, I guess that's how you know you made it.
And those of you who did that to Gravity Falls, shame on you.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Not everything has to go your way, in your mind. Leave it alone. Go nuts with Willy Wonka. I don't care. Leave Gravity Falls alone. It's a good show. Don't draw smut. Keep it in your pants. Can't stand.
Yeah. Serious.
You know, Street Fighter, go nuts. You got Chun-Li. But leave Gravity Falls alone. Sacred. Ugh. How dare. I'm sorry, Chris the host. I didn't want you to know that. Close your ears for the rest of the show. You're too young. Should not know these things.
Yeah.
People. Ugh. You and your deviant art. Deviant indeed.
It is deviant.
More like indecentart.com.net. .edu. Oh man, but don't worry about it. Just don't look for this. Like I don't even look for it though. I just type Gravity Falls. I'm like, no.
I googled the show I was working on because I was trying to find some concept design that I saw because I was trying to look for a title card, and it was just right away. It was just like, what's with this crazy slashy fan art?
I was like, why is this the most viewed?
These guys are brothers.
Oh god, that one.
Yeah.
I actually haven't looked into it, but yeah. So fun tip. If you guys work on a show, you can look up your favorite fan art. For shame. Anyway, let's get away from this topic. We already lost enough people on this episode. We like dropped down from 11 to like 8 viewers.
What's
and we're
up?
Like, what? This show is depraved because they're talking about things that they're sickened by.
Yeah.
Wait, how's that work? It doesn't, so you shouldn't have left. So glad to be back. Anyway, to get away from this stream of thought, what else we got? That was a good Wonka rant. I needed that.
Oh, does he feel better?
I do feel better.
Good.
All that anger that I built up all month. Charlie just got the whole front of it. Just.
Yeah.
I'm not really Sword Art Online. Yeah, I've watched it. Have you started that yet?
What?
Sword Arts Online.
Sword Arts Online.
It's the anime that's based in like an MMORPG.
Oh gosh.
It's basically dot hack but done right.
Yeah, I heard you mentioning that. I'm so behind on shows.
It's fun. It's silly. It's really neat. Ep047 says it's really vague. I think it's genius in that it's like each episode is kind of like progressively later on the timeline. Like it's kind of like they're stuck in there so long that's just like you keep rejoining the hero as he's like, as opposed, like as I described last week, I'm kind of really annoyed with a lot of anime and manga how heroes always gain their special ability at the last minute when it's perfect for them to have it. It's like, you know, oh no, he's shooting a bullet at me. Wing! I've got the claw wing now. I'm like, no,
yay,
what?
It just evolved.
Like it just kind of showed up. That's okay. Versus this show where it's like you will catch up with the main character as he's like leveled up way more, and so he has all these new abilities out of just being a stronger, you know, RPGer guy, which is cool. We got Stasal saying, "What's up, my homies? Not much. What's up with yous? What's up? We need some topics. Throw them our way."
Topics.
I thought I had more topics. Because on the way here, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll remember everything."
We're gonna talk about so much stuff.
I start talking, and it goes away.
Yeah, because you get off your chest. You're like, ah.
Yeah. And I've already like raged. They even like brought back some rage to the Muppets and the Phantom. I can't keep doing it. Can't keep beating the horse. You know what I'm saying? With a stick shaped like Oklahoma.
Who was it? You said that Andrew Murray from
yeah. That's what I want to say. On the Friday when I was walking down towards the Fan Expo area, some guy was walking towards me with his like aviator glasses and his hat, and he stops and looks at me, and I'm just like trying to ignore him because I'm like, oh, guy's gonna ask me for smokes or something, or drugs, and then he points at me, and then he goes, Oklahoma, and lo and behold, it was Andrew Murray from Guys with Pencils. So there you go. That freaked me out.
That's so good. That is the animation podcast and friends of the show.
Friends of the show, friends of the books of the kingdom. Check out Guys with Pencils.
Lots of great interviews with lots of great artists.
Stellar big name artists. And little names like Little Dash.
Like Little You and me.
Making them funny doodle books. Speaking of dumb voices, I was thinking of like after this next set. If you haven't checked it out yet, I released the Little Mermaid episode of Talking to the Camera, entitled "Sebastian is an Idiot." So if you enjoyed Little Mermaid, you might want to check out that episode and learn more about why the beginning plot is just completely flawed.
Yeah, it made sense. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, this show does make no sense. But, you know, like Christopher Nolan, Little Mermaid wasn't about plot, it was about emotion and moment. Mm-hmm. So when you're watching Batman and you're like, how did he get over that? No, you don't think that. That's logic. You don't think things that make sense.
Movies are about.
It's Batman. Anyway. So like the Little Mermaid, there's some holes like that I found. But go check that out. Badass 668 has to be. So cheers.
Later.
Thank you for the things.
Thank you very much.
That are awesome. We'll be around next week at some part. But definitely, what was I talking about? Yes. No. Of course. Okay, so go to YouTube, check out Shaggy Chan channel, and you can see the rant about Sebastian. I have one more coming up. I don't think it'll be ready for tomorrow because I'm just bushed. It's been shot, and I just haven't had time to edit it. But after that one, I think there's only like 1 or 2 episodes I really want to do. But I'm thinking of getting into more, like doing some more audio, like short stories and stuff like that. Because I feel like
we miss Shaggy Reads Twilight. We need something
well, maybe
to
not
fill that gap.
Twilight.
No, but I mean like just some good audio.
Oh no, the show's not ending. I'm just talking. This is Cooper Design saying, "Oh no, the show's ending." They're like, "No, I'm saying other things are ending." Maybe. Just because I feel like with a lot of the talking to the camera stuff and even like my work and things, I've been doing a lot more informational content, not enough narrative content. So I want to get back into a little more narrative work. So I'm thinking of doing more short stories with like radio plays. Chris Lewis wants Shaggy Reads 50 Shades of Grey. No, that's way too expected. You gotta like. Then again, technically Shaggy Reads Twilight's the same. But like everyone's reading Shades of Grey and posting on YouTube like breast is this. I'm like all right. It's not the first book to have those in it. Just saying.
Yeah. This whole 50 Shades of Grey thing, like, it's not the first erotica, but it feels to me like, just because it's so huge on it, it's like wandering into, finding a book in your mom's book bag and be like, oh, what's this? And, like, reading it aloud to your friends.
You shunned me for being on that website, breastises.edu.
What's with the edu?
I don't know, I just love that URL, it's just funny. And now you have this smut. And this raises an interesting question. Those of you who aren't sickened by us talking about dirty fan art, we're not going to talk about that, but similar in theme. When you have, like, naughty books with scandalicious content, is that any better or worse than, like, naughty movies and stuff like that? Or is it because it's in your mind, it's your own fault if it's dirty?
You're like, you don't have to interpret the sentence that way at all.
Oh, he bought her a bag of buns.
You can make anything like...
You know, it's like, clearly this book...
Well, I mean, like, people who can read dirty innuendo into the most innocent things, like, yeah.
Design says, I can't say it's the same thing. So, conclusion, we've got to slap an 18-plus sign in these romance sections in the bookstores, because this is clearly smut. It's corrupting our
yeah,
youth.
You can pop it open, you're just like, what?
Yeah, man. Because you could be like, where?
Some books are sealed, I think. But it's like, I don't know.
They come in a paper bag.
It's like a picture of it is but like if you have to read it, it's like at least it's you're learning. You're educating yourself.
Because at least he's reading.
The kid that only reads erotica. Wow.
It's like
we hoped you'd go for comic books, but
his language is improved.
It's better than video games.
Those damn video games with those breasts. At least I try to think what's the words per minute abbreviation. Is there something like that? Like there's like BPMs, like that's beats per minute.
Yeah.
Is there something like that?
Okay.
Like reads per minute.
Hey,
isn't the thing that 50 Shades of Grey isn't a well-written book? From what I heard, and I don't know if this is just heresy, but it was originally a Twilight fanfic.
Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit.
That was then slightly adapted. So like instead of a vampire, we make him a guy. And from there, it's gold.
Done.
It writes itself. It's not well written, it's just cover design. You'd know. Oh, you. Anyway. I expect the full review on my desk in the morning. People read any old crud. Well, the point of that is now everybody's trying to make their own Shades of Grey knockoff. It's basically a nondescript title of a slightly desaturated object. Like a pair of goggles, or like, you know, those things. You remember in school when you had like the ball was thrown, you caught it in a cup and you throw it back?
Yeah.
Like one of those.
That's weird.
I'm completely making that up.
Yeah.
But it's like that, and then it just says, well, the one I see on the subway, it's the actual website. The ball's on these guys. That's not the website. It's.
Does anyone have that? Buy that quick. .edu.
The ball's on these guys.edu. I'm pretty sure no one has that. But the ad is basically like, the Twitter is hashtag 50 Shades Hotter. And so I'm thinking, oh, this must be the sequel. I'm like, no, this is the Pepsi Coke slander. This is like, you thought 50 Shades of Grey was sexy. This book is full of sexy. And that's basically what the ad said on the subway. I'm like, right. Oh, so it's basically a slander campaign. And the one thing, this is the one thing I've always hated about slander campaigns, is basically it's not selling yours content on your own merits. It's just saying it's better than this thing, which first assumes that I know what that thing is at all, but secondly it leads me to believe like if you're so insecure about your own products, like in this case not secure, they're just idiots, but if you're so insecure that you have to like slam another product just to prove yours is good, then it's just like you have no faith in your product at all. Screw you. But in this 50 Shades, guys are basically just trying to like, rip on the legit original.
We cannot let that happen.
They're trying to steal its limelight. How dare 50 awful Shades rip-offs books. The original is sacred. Leave it alone. Hurting Cooper Design's feelings every time you make a knockoff 50 Shades book. There's only one. And it's follow-ups, which I saw at the airport. So there's 3. Genuine time. I don't even know what it's about. It's basically like, all right, here's what I've gathered from my random encounters, if you will, of 50 Shades of Grey. So there's like this college lady, And she's like, I want to write an article. And she interviews a man with the ripped chests. And from there, things get interesting. And that's why there's 3 best-selling books. It channels the inner wanting of a guy with a chest that you could friggin' break a box of chests. A treasure chest.
What?
On 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh my god.
That's my review on the back of the book. He's lost for words.
You are exhausted.
I am. How's that any better than a pizza delivery boy or a pool boy? I don't even know what he is, though. He's like Mr. Grey. Is that fun? It's like Mr. Big. Wait, that's not his actual name in Sex and the City, is it?
It is Mr. Big.
Oh, like legit? Like
I don't
born?
think
It's on his driver's license?
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is
I gotta rewatch that show. His name is Mr. Big. Says it right there.
It's like, my name is Mr.
Yeah, Grey's rich apparently. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Even Sex and the City is like that too. It's this whole aspirational viewing where it's like, I want to be like them who has walls of shoes.
I love them with their shoes.
Because like the movie's on, not saying why, but like I see her being like, "Ow, there's so many shoes in this closet." I'm like, that closet's the size of my house.
I wish.
I'm like,
and you're in New York.
I'm like, you can put chairs in like a bed. And she's like, it's not big enough. I don't know which character I'm imitating. It's none of them.
I don't know.
It's like the amalgamation of all of them. When she's like, "Oh, the bay windows." I'm like, no, I don't got those.
What? What is happening?
It was a great Sweet Justice episode when Carrie or whatever her face is, she's like, I don't got money. I gotta take the bus. And I'm like, take that! You uppity lady.
Oh, man.
You take that bus. Because she was too proud to like borrow money from friends because that would be rude, so she instead lost her house. Like, dude, is there anything rude in living in your house? Go for the ladder.
Living on the bus.
Oh well. Why not sandals? Let's get some shoes.
Shoes.
I want that top. Look up Kelly and shoes. It's pretty much if you type shoes in YouTube, it's probably the first thing that's gonna come up. Shoes. Oh my god. Shoes. I was thinking about that today randomly. The scene when the Aunt What's-Her-Face comes to visit with the guitar.
Oh, with the whiskey.
Like, I heard you're a singer yourself. Congratulations. Thanks, Aunt Susan. So good. Final boss of Sex and the City. Amalgamation of mains that wreak havoc on New York with shoes. That's kind of what the movie was. That movie was weird. Why am I watching these things?
I don't know.
They go to like Dubai or whatever, or Abu Dhabi or.
Oh, you watched that movie?
Yeah, and they go there and then they like
start a revolution.
Yeah, they start a revolution because apparently all the women love Gucci purses there, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
I don't get what's so special about those things.
I know, Louis Vuitton bags, all the good fun. Little fun tip. It's just a brand.
Yep.
It's all image, man. Everything's image. I'm not here telling you anything revolutionary. It's just true. Like one pair of shoes. Like if a pair of shoes is comfy, you won. But if you're like, well, it doesn't have the thing on it that is the popular thing, I'm like, dude, just...
Well, it's like, this shows that I have money. It shows I have status.
Why do you want people to know that? That's like when people originally stopped wearing the iPhone. There was this weird split, because some people stopped wearing the white iPhone earbuds because they didn't want their iPhone stolen. And other people started wearing iPhone earbuds because they didn't own an iPhone and wanted people to think they did. And it's like, in the end, what does it matter? The guy in the subway's not going to look at you and just nod.
Well, it's like part of the trendy club. You're like, yeah, I'm part of it.
We were talking about that today, actually, like the Apple stores and this whole cult and things, and it's just like, it's all image, man. Like, if you enjoy the Apple, go nuts, but, you know, it's not any better or worse than anything else, really. Shoe's a shoe. If you make your own shoes, that's awesome, because then you can put your own logo on it.
I mean,
But,
maybe your own brand.
alas, I don't make shoes.
What will I do with this foot?
So, speaking of shoes, let's look at foot.
I just drew the worst foot ever.
What? How do you fix that?
That makes no sense. Whiteout! And computer.
We got Master Cell saying, no question for everyone.
What's up?
Are you a cheap shoe user? Pay less, or have you ever sprung for 100 plus shoes? And how do you justify it? Katie.
I've bought expensive boots before. because they are waterproof and comfortable, and I can walk all over the place in them.
Mm-hmm.
For a high heel, I won't really spend a whole hell of a lot of money, but yeah, for a good pair of boots, I'll shell out maybe a couple $100.
Wow.
But it's like I'll wear them all the time, and they won't wear out. Like I'll have them for a couple of like years.
See, that's the thing though, is like kind of like my connection in the prices. It's like you see something that's like $200 shoes. I'm like, dude, you can buy a DS for that price.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But it's like for as long as it's a really comfortable shoe, it's like you want your feet to be healthy and comfortable. I wouldn't spend $200 on a shirt.
Oh yeah, well, like even me at like conventions and stuff, I never go like even 25 is high, but I never go over that.
Yeah.
Like if you go to any convention, the big ones, they usually have like these big cages of covered in T-shirts from like every show, every reference. You'll have your Bazinga, and you'll have your Zeldas and your, Muppets doing things that Muppets don't do. Like it's all these shirts,
Bazinga.
and they're like $25, and it's like that's the furthest I'll ever really go because that's kind of standard. But like, I don't recall ever really spending money on apparel, like not like a lot of money. Like it's always been like. If it's for like a wedding and stuff, yeah, you're gonna get a nice jacket, and you're like, well, this is how they get me. I can't get out dropping like $60 or whatever on this.
$60.
Yeah, I know that's nothing. Those peasants.
No, but I mean just like
$60 jacket. It's probably more than that, but it's the jacket I wear at every damn wedding because I'm not gonna buy another one. Because I don't care if people think I'm redundant, even though they're all like, oh, here's Shaggy with his friggin' 8-bit tie again. I'm like, hey, screw you! You're just wearing the same black tie, and no one notices. Why can't I have my red 8-bit tie and my blue 8-bit tie?
Exactly.
And switch based on the time of day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think it's classy. And anyone thinks otherwise, well, you have no personality. This is what you gotta wear, you know what I'm saying? Have fun. But, you can, it's what you're into also. Like, if you like clothing and you want nice clothing.
Well, yeah, because
expensive.
we'll drop ton of money per year on comics, and I'm sure some people who don't like
I've
them
really
are like,
stopped doing that for a good while now, but in
yeah,
the old
honestly,
days,
I mostly go to the library, but like your bookshelf at home is
if you count
huge.
it, it's probably over $10,000.
And some people look at fashion like we look at like comics, so it's like you're genuinely interested in having this designer shoe because you love the way it looks and the color and the way it looks on you, and you feel good wearing it. So that makes total sense. We just happen to have different geeky interests.
Comes down to sensibility. It's like if I just need a shoe that works, I get a shoe that works. I don't need a brand, but like sometimes you gotta buy some comics, you know what I'm saying? But hey, we wait for sales.
Yeah, we're pretty trendy.
Because I with that Silver Snail move thing, like I got 50 off of everything in the store. I didn't buy any comics though, but I just bought like a bunch of toys and crap that I don't need. But it's just like I got like a Finn Adventure Time figure. I got my Ringo bobblehead from the Yellow Submarine. I got Earthworm Jim, the new release one they came out with. Like, and all these were 50 off. So I'm like, all right, that's good for me. I got some expansions for my Munchkin game.
I like that.
Yeah. Because I feel like I've earned an expansion because we've run into the same monsters a couple of times. So I'm like, all right, let's get some more. So I actually got Munchkin Box 2 as well as like a single monster expansion pack that's just like 7 random cards or something like that. I'm like, this is nice. There's a lot of expansions. There's like 8 expansions to Munchkin.
Like I saw they had a booth at Fan Expo.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
A whole bunch
did they have
of
like the Axe Cobb stuff there probably?
Oh, they must have. It was a whole bunch of stuff.
I want to stop by and shake their hand.
Yeah, thank you for making a fun game.
I know that Snakes and Lattes also had a space at Fan Expo.
Yes.
I wasn't there, so I can't say how it was. But
yeah, it was one of the side rooms was totally booked off for it. I'm gonna have to fix this in Photoshop. I don't know what I'm drawing.
Dun dun dun. Let's learn from
leg
Katie's
is making
mistakes.
no sense. Well, first
The
of all,
leg?
don't start friggin' inking when you're like, I don't know what he's doing with his leg. It makes no sense.
It kind of disappears behind his knee.
Yeah, I gotta bring it out and make it.
Unless
more.
he's a knee magician.
Yeah, just.
It's like, now watch as the
like
bunny disappears at my knee.
Yeah.
And all the kids are like, what?
It's the best trick ever.
He's the best knee magician in town. And then the other knee magician comes by.
And he's like, I'll show you.
Like his knees.
Dang it. Why did I do that? It's so stupid.
Watch me shimmy and shake these bad boys. And then he feels bad and loses faith. But then that one magician assistant with the bunny teaches him to believe.
Right.
And we have a Disney special right there.
There you go, done.
And I wanted to win magician tournament.
Can I salvage this?
You can make a story out of anything, kids. It's that easy.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to do those radio plays now, because I have a bunch of dumb short stories I've written over the years I never did anything with.
Mm-hmm.
I have one that I found after all these years. I reread it, and it was bizarrely accurate. It was called The Most Unfortunate Slytherin. And it was a story about, like, this kid who ends up in Slytherin in Harry Potter.
He doesn't want to.
Yeah, because his whole family were, like, Gryffindors, and he ends up as Slytherin. But, like, it wasn't even just me being like, hey, Slytherin, I'm a dick. Like, it was actually, like, well written as a Harry Potter fan piece. I'm like, there was a lot of details about the sorting hat and the hallway, and I'm just like, when did I write this?
I don't remember you having that.
I don't remember it either, because I didn't think I was ever going to do anything with it. It was just so weird, because I'm reading it, and I'm just like, did I steal this from, like, fanfiction.net? I don't recall writing so much detail in a Harry Potter fanfiction. I'm not that dedicated of a fan.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a funny idea, but I just put a lot of effort into it, and it was like, I don't know. It was just really, like, maybe I'll let you guys decide once I record it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear me read it in my voice for Harry Potter.
Is that your
Harry Potter's not in it, though. It's like either before or whatever, earlier. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. Some point.
But, like, I don't know. It's not like it's only like a couple pages, so it's kind of just this weird short story. But you should write comics or something, Shaggy. This TV dinner. Yeah, I should.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a bunch of projects on the burner right now.
Mm-hmm.
He could be leaning forward. Says, "Oh, we're
yeah." Dang
could
it.
be. Or you can just erase his leg and make him a one-legged magician.
Or you can just have it kicking off to the side, like, woo! How do? This is why you don't ink before you've got your pencils nailed down.
And we've learned a lot in this episode.
Da-da-da-da.
If he's leaning, says Master Still, she'd have to lift up most of the calf still.
Damn it.
Peg leg him, says Master Still.
Yeah, he's getting the peg leg.
Boom.
What the heck can I...
You just draw like a new leg on the other paper and then merge the two?
Yeah, I can figure something out.
I
might just have to do this in Photoshop. Damn it.
I know.
I hate it when that happens.
But we can sell the originals as like a learning piece. It's like,
Yeah.
$20 for this mistake.
Oh god, I need to eat. Blah.
Yeah. Well, it's not like, this is the weirdest leg drawing we've seen today, because you were looking through that Archie comic, which is full of fun.
Should I bring that over?
Yeah, let's take a look, see what kids are reading these days.
What's going on with the world of Archie? Oh, wait, here?
Yeah, you can just... All right,
okay.
so first of all...
my dad picked this up.
Well, let's do the contrast. So, this is what... When I say Archie, you're like, oh, hey, ice cream.
I grew up on silly.
And there's two girls, and Archie runs around with his tongue out.
Which doesn't make sense.
This is Archie today.
Yeah, this is what my dad picked up for me. So there's like horror and violence. This guy's like got a gun on this dude, and it's tragedy striking Kevin Keller, and everyone's like, oh my god.
And this isn't even like the cute Archie subplot when it's like, oh no, there's pirates on Veronica Lodge's island and they're trying to steal the dog's gems.
Yeah, well, like you were saying, a bad guy with a gun shows up and characters just fall on him.
Yeah, like Jughead would fall through the roof at some point and be like, what? And they're like, Jughead. Yeah. Here it's like, if Jughead fell through the roof in this story, he'd break a couple like bones, be on work leave but not paid. Midge would divorce him. Like, this is tragic.
I don't know why Jughead's dating Midge, but I gotta show you guys.
This is the new Archie, man.
My favorite panel in this
is what the kids are reading these
I don't
days.
really get the acting in this, but it's like...
No longer they're jalopies.
Here, where is it? Where Archie talking to Jughead.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why he's grabbing his face and putting his arm on his shoulder.
Throughout the whole comic, Archie's constantly leaning on people and, like, neck-locking them.
But it's like... Hey, Jug, why so glum? Let's
look
never
down
hire
your throat and see
I don't
why.
have a sister, then you're all good. I'm like, why do you grab your friend by the chin?
Now, I know we like to be close with our friends, but he's basically hanging off of everybody throughout the book.
Archie's just...
And my thought was, it's like, because there's not much panel space, so they're just like squishing everyone together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, remember her? She was the one with the red hair.
Yeah, Cheryl Blossom.
Like, everyone has a tragic story in Archie. Everyone's got diseases.
Well, it's like
everyone's got death.
I guess they're dealing more with like adult serious
but
issues.
Everyone has one of each adult issue is the problem. There's no like middle ground. Like,
but honestly,
Archie's probably gonna cheat on Veronica.
Well,
Reggie's gonna commit like.
Wasn't he cheating on her when he was dating Betty, like all through high school?
I don't know. It's weird, man. And this killer's loose in Riverdale. Like, it was freaky enough.
Jughead's getting punched.
Yeah. Like, there's this guy who's dressed like
and
Reservoir
punching.
Dogs, and Jughead, like, slugs this guy, Batman style, because he was hitting on his ex-girlfriend. And then he returns a favor, and then it's like, we're even now, Jughead. If I catch you in this side of town, I'm like, dude! Like, isn't the friggin', like, Frisbee race next week at the beach? Like, what's going on?
Things aren't fun anymore. It's
like, once you get out of high school, everyone starts dying.
Serious.
I don't know. He looks like Keanu.
He does look like Keanu.
And that's the current state of... Like, I'm pretty sure the Archie comic Sonic the Hedgehog comic is still, like, you know, he's running around. I'm pretty sure he's not on drugs and stuff like this book. But, like, and Moose
Archie's
isn't
not
even...
on drugs.
See, here's the crazy thing. Friggin'... I don't know why I'm so angry or livid about this. But it's like, dude, Midge married or dated or whatever Jughead. Mm-hmm. Now, we used to think it was going to be Ethel, and Midge was always around that abusive guy, Moose.
Yeah. So
He's not here anymore.
Well, they might have actually dealt with that as a serious rage issue.
Yeah. He had rage issues.
But, I mean, for kids that maybe don't have access to stuff and they read comics, this might be a good way to deal with
Oh, no, I'm not saying
issues.
don't do this. This is brilliant.
Well, it's like you're saying that it used to be fun. I'm like, well, high school was fun and innocent, and then you grow up and everything sucks.
Once you grow up, you get this. Like, oh, there's a killer loose.
Yeah.
I'm like, look around your corners.
Things are so serious.
You know, those friends you had, they're not around for much longer. You're like,
What?
I'm just like reading this. But at least he gets, you know, his divorce with Midge is cool, though, because he gets back with Ethel, so there we go.
That's good.
As was meant to be. Though, of course, the greatest is Dilton. Remember that nerdy dude? He's like this crazy Steve Jobs guy who has teleportation powers now, because he's the smartest man in the world, and he's also Mr. Manhattan from the friggin' Watchmen. Because there's always 3 of him in every panel. This is messed up. He's like either that or this is like Mr. Weatherby's like weird fever dreams or his trips, because you can't forget about high school.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even... He's swiping at him. He's going through him. He's just like, Dilton, you've become impenetrable. Like, this book has gone crazy. Anyway, that's Archie.
Good stuff, good stuff.
But hey, you can...
It's good to get an update what's going on.
This stuff still exists. You can still read your favorite classics when Archie just had to worry about getting his test in on time. Not his tests in life.
I know. It's heavy issues.
Dude... I'm all for it, though. Like, it's hard to teach this stuff in Sesame Street. Like, they've tackled some issues, but, like, I don't think a gunman showed up on Sesame Street. Mm-mm. Like, that stuff, like, definitely this is stuff that you... This is... Sometimes you... I can't put into words, and it's like, you definitely do have to leave this to parenting at some point, where it's just like, the parents gotta sit the kid down and be like, look, this world is shitty sometimes, kid. Yeah. I know, like, it's clouded with fun TV shows and stuff, but there's also, you gotta watch out. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy that stuff... Honestly, I sound crazy right now. And angry, but I'm actually happy that this kind of stuff exists just to have it out there and accessible for kids.
For sure.
But it is also definitely something that's like, if a parent's unaware of what's going on in the comic, they may be like, oh god, all this came up at once. I'm not ready to tell my kid about every disease and stabbing that exists in the pages of this book.
I think as a parent, you have to kind of always just be ready, because it's like, if you just put it off, it just gets weird.
But I do think it is kind of this problem from that era, like the baby boomer era of TV, how it's like the 2.5 kids, the husband-wife setup, and everything is just so, and that has drastically changed, where it's like the majority, like many kids are like single-parent children and stuff like that. It's just, and it's not reflected enough in TV, and shows like Arthur actually did, how the rabbit kid, his mom was a single mom, and she started dating another guy, and I'm like, I have not seen this in any other kid show. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's always like, every show is just like, you know, the kid is a crazy science genius, and he has 2 parents, and this, and that, and that. And it's like, it's always just so, like, the right sitcom formula. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm all for this. I just think it's just really... I just found out about it today, though, so you gotta give me some time.
Yeah, you're just feeling the shock,
It's heavy.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Archie's fucking heavy, guys. You gotta watch out for this. Just saying.
It's kind of a lot to take in.
You know, just saying. Reggie's not up to his old jokes anymore. He's trying to just make a living.
Here.
There's this horrible racist bigot here too. This guy with a hat. Ugh. Craziness. It just seems like such a drastic shift, though. It's not like easing into it. It's like, all right, guess what, guys? This is Archie now. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, it's called Life with Archie, so I don't think it's like the predominant series.
Yeah, the little zine still exists.
Yeah.
The digest.
It feels mature. It has like a thicker paper that you don't want to give the kids because they'd be like, Because this thing's already bent. You can't fix it. You know, this thing is done. Yeah. You guys ruined this somehow. Man. Daytime drama. Mm-hmm. It is now. Mm-hmm. That's only issue 22. Mm-hmm. Where's it going to go from here? But as I also argue, it's kind of like that. We're past the anime phase when like Archie had to be like, let's do anime Archie and superhero Archie. Goofy. Now it's like, dude, we fell too far from reality. We got to remind people that life. Anyway, that's craziness.
Photoshop fix.
What if the Far Side Gallery updated? What's going on?
The Far Side?
Far Side, like friggin' Larson? Or?
Yeah.
Have you guys read the Adventure Time comics? Are they cool? They're pretty cool. I've actually laughed out. I've laughed out loud on a couple of them. They're silly. I haven't really followed up after the first one, though.
I haven't really picked them up just because I haven't been buying comics, but yes. I know there's a lot of cool people working on them.
Yes. And the Marceline one also just came out. The new series of her and her band, I guess, which is cool.
Yeah, that one sounds really cool.
Basically, it's the interesting thing about the comics is they're kind of like this legitimized fan content. Because that's like, it's something I always kind of thought of when it even came to like the Star Wars books, like Extended Universe. Like in the end, it's all technically fan work. Because it's not like made by the creator or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But it becomes canon, so it's kind of like all the people working on the comics are the fans of the show. So like the stuff they're like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if Marceline did this? And then they can make it like legit in the comic. And it's like, yeah, they continued the band. I'm like, that's kind of neat that it's like you have that kind of aspect of it.
Well, I know there's a girl, her Tumblr's Kate or Die, and she did a comic and had a cover. And it's kind of like she and her friend... Albin Wonderland, who's another Tumblr person. Like she's kind of like Bubblegum, and she's kind of like Marceline. So they modeled the front cover characters to be wearing similar clothes to what they actually wear in real life. So I'm like, oh, that's like a cameo of these two girls as the characters.
Put yourself in.
Which was really cute.
That's cool. That's cool. I think I follow her. Yeah, I follow her Tumblr.
Yeah.
I read Tumblr. Does she like work at a comic shop, or is that someone else?
Oh yeah, in Halifax, I think.
There you go. So she works in comics and works in a comic shop.
Yar.
Now that's like a dual comic responsibilities.
Mm-hmm. Doing the right thing for the comic world.
It would be like, you know, if your job was in comics and you also did comics, like that's like your resource material is like right there, so that's kind of convenient. You know?
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
It's
and
like,
if you get a discount, you get
there you go. There you go. Why not?
I'm so disappointed with this drawing. Scan it.
Yeah, scan it, fix it. Do that old thing.
Blah.
Inspired by the world around you, says Cobra Design. Indeed! Well, everything is informed by everything around you. I'm sketching Shaggy ranting about Archie and Katie. Says, I'm not angry about Archie. I'm just taken aback by a second and trying to cope with how my world has shifted. Mm-hmm. Tonally, anyway. Mm-hmm. What else is going on, chat? I haven't actually looked back in a while. Gradients or go home. That might have been reference to something else.
Color for colors.
Oh,
man.
What? What's up?
Oh, I'm just beat.
Beats and beats and beats.
Boards and stuff.
So I'm just singing Street Fighter music now. How long should we wrap? What time should we wrap up? I think 9 maybe. It's 8:48 now.
Yeah, maybe 9.
So unless you guys got something magic for us to talk about.
I'm trying to think of anything else.
I'm gonna remember everything after.
I know.
Like, oh my god.
Normally we're a lot more prepared.
Let's talk about that thing I bought. Did I buy a thing?
Did you buy anything?
I don't think so.
Oh, did you show the thing that Heather got you?
Oh.
You should show that.
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go?
I got it over here.
Is it on the box? There you go.
So Heather was at Fan Expo, and she bought a thing for me that originally someone else had. I think it was her, and then I wanted it. And you might be thinking, oh hey, what's up with that cup? That's a cup. It's a cup. No, it's an Ocarina cup. Boom. You can like play into it.
You should play it.
Like so.
That's the blowhole that you put the on.
Well, crap.
There you go.
What?
Yeah, leave that one open. There you go.
So like I can have a cup of tea.
Yep.
And it's like, let's sing about this tea, shall we?
That's gonna be so annoying. It's really cute.
And there you go.
That's nice.
And I can do the song of healing while I'm sipping tea or something like that. I could go. I don't think there's any more notes.
I think it's just 4 little holes.
Oh, there's a tiny hole down here. That one, I didn't know that was there.
Oh.
That'd be good if you're like a storyteller with a cup of tea. It's like, and then the dragon showed up. That's probably actually what this is based on. Mm-hmm. Like, it's probably an old storyteller up in Yorkshire. Mm. He was like, let me tell you, and he kept blowing into his tea, and they're like, we gotta fix this somehow. And they're like, let's turn that into an ocarina. And there you go.
Yeah, that's the cutest little idea.
There's no Triforce on it, though. I wouldn't mind, like, somehow getting that on.
Yeah. And I don't know if you described it, but it's 2 cups, so you can have tea in it.
Yes.
So it's like there's 2 cups with space in between.
Oh, yeah, like, it's not like you blow
It's not like you pour
comes
tea in
out.
and then the hot liquid comes through.
Yeah, it makes sense. This isn't dumb, guys.
I wonder how hot it gets.
I wouldn't buy dumb things.
No? We love dumb things.
That's true.
Oh, wow.
But that's cool. And speaking of which, if you're in the Toronto area or if you're along in the tour lineup, the Zelda Symphony of the Goddess should be coming to your town or so. It's coming to Toronto September 15th at the Sony whatever the heck theater. We got, well, you didn't get tickets, but I got tickets. It's a live performance of Zelda musical. It's going to be awesome. I'm not going to Video Games Live this year, but so this will be cool just to have a full orchestrated Zelda symphony. I heard the LA or down that way shows were really well received. People really enjoyed it. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to bring my Zelda shirt. I don't know. Show my fandom.
Zelda shirt.
And if you guys check that out, it might be coming to your town too. It sounds like it's going to be fun. Little Zelda Symphony of the Goddess, which is cool. Wouldn't mind like that. Oh, anytime Zelda's orchestrated is good. Actually, that's one thing I wanted to go into quickly about orchestrated music. Because I was going through some old hard drives and I found all my Kingdom Hearts OSTs, like all my soundtracks for all the games. I was kind of just clicking through them, and then I got to Kingdom Hearts 2 with the opening. You remember the opening theme in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you're on the menu? Because the original one, it was kind of like do 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 do. It's like that theme.
Kind of sad memory, like.
Then the second one though is this. It starts off with like a little like piano, and then this, echoey single piano goes.
You just kind of start to.
And then I started getting so nostalgic for Kingdom Hearts because. Kind of, very similar in a weird way I try to explain it. Like, there's only certain things, medias and stories and things in my life that kind of came out that were, in a way, different from everything else, and so they have a different emotional connection to it. Like, Sailor Moon was one of those things. Mario 64 was one of those things, because it was like these levels of things being so different from the norm that you're used to, that's, like, emotionally tied to you differently. And for some reason, Kingdom Hearts kind of is in that realm because... Not because it was like Disney and Square together, but it was just like the whole concept in the game was like this 3D exploration game of a world. Like everyone's world was shattered and they're all like stranded like in this kind of centered, timeless world and all trying to get back. And it was kind of this weird and fun seeing characters you recognize showing up around every corner. And so maybe it was, it was very much because of the Disney too, because it was very nostalgic. You're like, oh, there's Merlin and there's these guys, and they're all just kind of showing up in certain places. And tied all together with the music, which is very iconic. And then when you hear the music and the nice piano version with the waves of the beach playing slowly, and you're just like... So last night, I'm just sitting there being like... because it's hard to explain. It's one of these things that only every few... not generations per se, but every few years or so, you get that feeling of something being so new and fresh and different. And I don't know if it's just the thing about growing up, because I don't really feel that way about many things anymore. Like, as much as I love new shows that come out like Gravity Falls, I'm not like, this is so fresh and different, and I can't even emotionally explain why it's different. And I don't know what the next thing for that is going to be. Like, often it was like when a new game system came out, like when Super Nintendo came out, you're like, how could it be so much better than the original? Like, it looks like a cartoon. Mario's running around, and it's bouncy and fun and colorful. And then, like, as, newer systems come out, the graphics are only so much better, and it's just, like, there's minor examples of that for me. Like, Jet Set Radio was, like, the first
that was super fun.
cel-shaded kind of game, and had an amazing soundtrack, and so when you played that, I was like, I'm inside a cartoon.
It's this free world you can just scoot around on top of buildings. And
I don't know, it's just, like, it's not even something I can put words to, like, how it's so different, Like, there's things that are original and unique, but there's something that's just, like, it's your concept of...
I get you.
Hard to explain, but I don't know what the next thing would be. Like, maybe Toy Story was like that for some people, where it's like, I can't even explain what this is, why it's so great. Like, it's just, it's never existed before, and now we're just kind of getting so used to everything, I guess. Makes you envy like being a kid and like being introduced to everything again, where it's like, this is a phone. You're like, how is it possible that I can talk to people who are not in the room with me?
I think it's just accepted. They're not like, what is this science? Just like, of course it works.
Nowadays we have kids like on the bus poking the ads, thinking it's a touchscreen.
Yeah.
You know,
they're like, no,
like the
no,
little
that's
girl's
not
like, how do I order that food? It's like, no, it's not. It's not interactive. You know, like they're born in this world where they can see their long distance working parent every day on a screen.
Well, and anytime you take a picture, they'll be like, can I see it afterwards? Where before you have to go
back in the day, it's
done.
like, can I wait with you at the grocery store for 2 hours to see the photo we took, Dad?
God,
It's
I hate
like,
this.
no. But nowadays, it's like, and it was the same with every generation. Like I always think like this generation, so many advancements happened, but I'm like, I'm sure the next generation is going to be the same too. Because right now we're entering like 3D printers making things for you. There's going to be a world where if I want this damn Ocarina cup, I could have ordered it online and it went, here's an Ocarina cup. Because it will have the technology to print to frequencies that make sounds.
I would like
so
that.
it can print and talk to you at the same time. You know? This is the drawing you made. The leg is wrong. Like, oh, it has an attitude and an art degree. I hate this printer.
Jackass.
Your colors are misbalanced. Too much red.
Yeah.
That's what our printer sounded like.
Yep.
See, when we had a printer, it went.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible sounding.
And now it's just. Oh, I printed double-sided? Good! You guys are spoiled.
I know, it comes out so much faster now.
You never think you're going to be the guy who goes, back in my day. No, you are. Everyone is.
Yeah.
We had cassettes, which you had to fast forward and rewind to, and then they ripped and you couldn't hear them anymore. You tried taping them, but your dad would still know. You ruined his Star Wars tapes.
Yeah, just shove it back in.
Like, no one's gonna play the Truce of Bakura Chapter 7 anytime soon.
Oh yeah.
Just sneak that back in the box. No one needs to know.
It's been haunting me to this day.
It's all that kind of stuff. A Courtship of Princess Leia. Who needs to finish that? First 5 chapters are fine.
You got the gist of it.
Oh god.
It's gonna be a wedding.
Star Wars. Oh man.
Courtship of Princess Leia.
You know, it's crazy. You're all going to experience that. You're all going to think, oh, I'm going to be the head of technology all the time. But when they come out with the friggin' projection in the eye view, you're going to be like, back in my day, we only had floating projections. Didn't need to be in our eye or nothing.
It's good to know that, like, salty old sailors don't go out.
It was a communal 3D projection of an anime girl with a synthetic voice. You didn't have to keep it private in your eye.
Yeah.
Because everyone grows up to be a salty old sailor.
Oh, yeah.
That's all our futures. But we'll be there. Just complaining about everything new the whole way. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we can find something we like out of it.
I think I'm...
Yeah, it's about 9 o'clock, so enough yelling at you guys for this evening.
Yeah.
You got your earful for this week, so stay tuned for next week, of course. The book is Mini City Kingdom.
On the little
This is our book. It's a little book here. It's called City Kingdom, Manager Mixer's 211th birthday. On the back, it's got reviews by Kaiser KBG and all our favorite people. And you can check it out. This little book is $10 for the physical copy, or you can put it in your digital devices, and it's $4. Let's go to SillyKingdom.com and you can order it. Check it out. And of course, there's also Cautionary Tales and Fairy Tales is the other book you definitely do want to get into. Mm-hmm. You want to get up in this. Our story, and of course, is Tatterhood. If you don't know what it is, this is the finest of Norwegian folktales, adapted for modern tastes, even though it was a fairly unique book for its time. I feel it had a lot of interesting modern twists that I feel if you go back, you can find like 3 billion versions online.
Of course,
it's I think it's one of the most unique of fairy tales and folk tales I've ever really read, because it did have a lot of strange sensibilities. I think this guy whoever wrote it was like shunned at their time for being like, oh, they're supposed to end up with a prince in the end and like this or whatever, and riding a goat. It's weird. And what do you mean her head is taken and she finds it later?
I love that.
This is weird. I'm like, that's why I really enjoyed it. And not saying nothing about nothing, but maybe been writing some other things maybe about the same characters.
Yeah.
Not saying nothing. But if you want to see where it all began, you go watching our Cautionary Tales and Fairy Tales over at
CFFT.
dot
BigCartel.
BigCartel.com. There's also links from our regular sites. You can check out all our stuff. Main headquarters, of course. You go to the Shenanigans on the Facebook. You're going to want to add yourself to that Facebook because...
Oh, I'm going to be doing a contest, but I have to figure out how to set it up. Actually, what are we going to do?
Excellent.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to give away a copy of
all these things we
Fables.
just said?
Yeah. And
you're going to get them.
And we're going to give away...
Not these, though. This is mine.
Yes, and we're going to give away a whole bunch of art prints. Mini prints. Well, the mini prints.
Oh, okay.
Mini prints.
Like,
so,
I don't agree
books
with this.
and mini prints. Just like to thank you guys for tuning in and being awesome and checking out our stuff. So you're gonna want to friend the Facebook because we're gonna choose.
If you're already friended,
random.
you're still like.
Yeah, you're totally
there,
in. If you friended us, and then we'll just choose a random person. You get all
you don't
the
have to friend.
stuff.
You just like it. Right?
Like it.
You don't friend.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah, so go on their Facebook, like the Shenanigans page.
And then
it's also good to be there because that's where you get all your recent updates on when the show is happening because we have no better way to tell you aside from all the other ways.
Yeah, but I think next week maybe we'll announce the winner.
Oh, really? We should tell more people about this contest then.
Well, maybe we'll make it.
Just tweet it every day.
Yeah.
The Twitters are, of course, Katie Shy,
yes.
Shaggy Shan, Tumblr is Shaggy Shan also, or Shaggy's Mind Sauce.
I'm Katie Shy everything.
Yeah, I think I'm Shaggy Shan everything.
Did we say the Facebook page?
Silly K, no. Facebook /
SHAN.
Oh wait, AHANIGANS. It's great.
Yes.
You're gonna want to go there. Shenanigans Live is a show that happens every Wednesday. The time has been a little all over the damn place.
Yeah, with work and whatnot.
So 7:30 for you East Coasters. Sometimes it's at 9 o'clock for your West Coasters.
We will give heads up.
We're always gonna tell you at least 15 minutes before it happens.
Yeah.
When it's happening. Usually Wednesdays though. Adapt your time for Eastern, of course, because we have a different time from you.
Sure.
Probably. Facebook.com/Shenanigans says someone.
Yes.
Maybe. You just type Shenanigans on Google and you'll find everything you need.
You should be able to find us.
Also, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel because we randomly post up back episodes of this show there because we have to delete the old episodes because we don't have an official account with Ustream, so we run out of space and can't save the show anymore. So all episodes go there, as well as any travel videos coming up of us going to conventions. You're going to want to check that out. Anything else you want to announce? You guys have any announcements?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going on? What's coming up at friggin' PlaceCon? Oh, wellsies. Be sure to watch this show next week. That's all I can say. See you guys later. Cheers.